Hey guys, welcome back. Do you ever feel unproductive? Do you ever feel overproductive? Or should I ask, what does productivity mean to you or to be productive? Um, Society often defines or has its own definition of productivity, and it defines itself on productivity, if you ask my opinion. You often talk about hearing how much money somebody has or how much their cars, their houses, how many kids, what level their job is at, how much they work throughout the day. And I find that it's hard not to compare yourself to that situation, especially when we're so bombarded by it. Like we've literally been raised to think that if you're not being productive, it's bad. And it has its place. I'll put it that way. I'll put being non productive has its place, but it shouldn't stay there. And what I mean by this is, you can't really compare your situation to somebody else. It's your journey, it's your adventure, it's your path that you're on. So the level of productivity might differ from person to person, might differ from you to your neighbor, to your friend, to your family, etc. Um, for example, my father in law, his version of productivity is to just keep moving. And when he was faced with kind of a personal dilemma when he came into a situation where he learned he had kidney disease and immediately needed a new kidney. Um, all of a sudden, this man who was running, 12-hour days, he was driving all over the state, because of his job. And he was moving, he was doing all this stuff. And, he actively ignored a lot of aspects of his health because of how productive he felt he needed to be. And, there's a whole bunch of stuff behind that. But other than that, his level of productivity had been shut down in his mind. Now he was or he had to like take a lot of breaks. He had to recover. He had to rest. And to him, that was being completely unproductive. That wasn't doing anything. But in somebody else's mind, that is. It's taking care of yourself. It's getting time to focus mentally and physically on what's going to happen, and giving your body a chance to recover, which is, in all technicality, a sort of productivity. You're not getting anything externally done, but you're getting a lot internally taken care of. And it can be hard, especially if you have your own ideas about what productivity is. You really have to come to asking yourself, is it my idea of productivity or is it their idea of productivity? And that's important. Like I said before, you can't compare yourself to other people's ideas of being productive. It's just going to run you down. It's going to take away your motivation. It's going to kill your any advancement that you want to make, and it's just not good for your self-esteem. Now, my version of being productive was almost the same thing. Like I would take my health into account, but it wasn't like I would drop everything to go to the gym or I would drop everything to go pick up organic foods or whatever. But, I used to work 3 jobs at one point. I would leave my 9 to 5 job, or in that case, 7 to 3. And then I would go to my second job. And then right from there, I'd go to my third job. And I'd come home, give myself about 5 hours to sleep, and get right back to it. I was making money, I was working, and I was supporting my family. And those were the things that used to define productivity for me. And I think I got it from my father, and not in a negative way. He was a very hard worker. He took on the challenge of, my oldest brother had a separate father. My 2 next siblings, which was a brother and sister of mine, had a separate father. And then me and my quote unquote blood sister had the same father. My father took on all 5 of us without question, and he supported us. He built a house over our heads, and him and my mom really teamed up to do what they could to make sure things would work. The only time he ever stopped was when he was sick. And I think eventually he started to learn that he was kind of killing himself over it. And once he got things stabilized, he took it easier. Not easy, easier. he was still productive. You know, you couldn't stop my father from going out and mowing the lawn and taking care of all that stuff, taking the garbage to the dump that was in town and things like that. You know, you couldn't stop him from that. That was his version of like a relaxing Saturday. He needed to feel productive on that day. Sunday, he took to himself and he didn't care about being productive. He did whatever he had to do for work if there was anything to do, and then he rested. Now, I got my working aspect or my working mindset from him, where I drive and I drive and I drive, and you know, when I reap the rewards is when I can try to slow down, depending on how balanced that was, or depending on how stable I was. But I had come to realize that that's not my form of productivity. There was even at one point that I was unemployed, and I was still being productive. I was attempting to learn. I was attempting to start my own business, and I was doing. I was helping. I was basically with my kids all day and alleviating the cost of daycare and things like that. And, you know, it was a lot of lucky times. And for me, originally, I would have thought of that as being lazy, kind of that old school thought of, the dad's at home. Like, I had a lot to go through with that because of external comments that people made to me and things like that, until I learned to shake them off and to just ignore it. You know, I learned that they came from old mindsets with that kind of stuff. And my productivity is mine and my own. Now, today, like I was saying, I love what I do. And for me, doing the things that I'm doing, even if it's, doing them with no viewers or not making much money off of them or whatever, I love to do what I do. And it's making me productive because I'm not just going for something aimlessly. I'm going for my goals. And I think that's a key, is that I think we can all universally agree that if you're not achieving your goals, or if you're not aiming for something, what are you trying to be productive for? That's a question you really need to ask yourself to determine the importance of what you're doing and what you want to do. And I think that's a really important thing to address, and to make sure you take time just to consider that. Me, I want to bring my knowledge of health and fitness and wellness and to everybody out there, and to help you guys accomplish your goals the same way that I'm accomplishing mine. Just on your own individual path in your own way. If you guys need help with this, please visit my website, get in touch with me, click any of the links. Let's get in touch and talk about it. I keep saying it in my last couple episodes, but even if my pricing's not quite there on some of the stuff, you can talk to me about what you need, and I will come up with something designed specifically for you, and we'll go from there. But back to what I was saying before, sometimes productivity even comes down to one single thought. One thought. You can be productive. You can be coming out of the laziest year of your life, and you can still be productive with a simple thought. How that works is when something occurs to you that is along with your purpose, and you just feel it's right in your gut or in your soul. You know it's you, and you know it's what you're supposed to be doing, or it's something that you want to do. That makes it a whole lot different. You could be laying in bed and the thought occurs to you, I'd like to write a book. You should write a book. That little thought, no matter how long it takes you to act on that, is a form of being productive. And I'm not trying to say this to make you feel better about being lazy or not doing anything. I'm saying that is a seed that is now planted in your mind that you can grow. You can now accomplish a goal. You can now get motivated to go for this dream or whatever thought you had. And there's no reason to stop yourself. That's the beauty of sitting still sometimes. It has its place, like I said in the beginning of the episode, where you don't have to stay still. You don't have to stay stagnant. Sometimes you do need to take a step back and just breathe and be with yourself, whether it's in meditation or some other form of just taking that break. And you'll be astonished once your mind is finally come down from that, high stress job or from that lifestyle that you're trying to shoot for. You'll be astonished at what you can discover because, things just come out of nowhere sometimes. Like when I came home from an overnight position one time, I was exhausted. I wouldn't be able to go to sleep right away. I had my sleep in nap time increments with my kids. And, I came home and I said, life's got to change. I said, I know Joan Bender of Joan Bender Wellness. I can link her in the show notes and give her a little shout out. She was my inspiration from seeing how she changed her life, and just by taking the IIN course for health coaching, she's changed her life and her attitude, and you can see it. She's vibrant, she's energetic, and her whole mindset has changed, and you can really see that. And I think that out of being that complacent and being stuck in the flow that I was stuck in of just trying to get by, just trying to make money so that we can pay rent and things like that. And it really just blindsided me where I was like, text Joan, get some information, make that call. And I'm glad I did. My life has changed so much, exponentially for the better. And I can't explain to you how much or how important it is that sometimes you take that step back and just let yourself experience life as it is. Not all that extra static that's going on. How you feel in the moment. It's important. And the last thing I have to leave you guys with is don't compare yourself. Again, I know I've said it probably 100 separate times. Do not compare yourself to somebody else's progress. Do not compare yourself to where somebody else is in life. You have no idea what they did to get there. They have no idea what you've experienced to get where you are. There's nobody like you, and that's why my program works, because it is designed for you. Have a good one, guys.